Right now, as you listen to this, a calcium atom in your left shoulder blade might be mysteriously responding to something happening near a star in the Andromeda galaxy. Scientists have discovered that tiny particles can become quantum entangled, meaning they react to each other instantly across any distance, even if they're separated by 2 million light years. But here's what will keep you awake tonight. Your body contains trillions of atoms that were born inside exploding stars. What if some of those stellar particles are still connected to their cosmic twins, scattered across the universe? What if your thoughts, your heartbeat, even your dreams are somehow linked to quantum events happening in galaxies you'll never see? Chapter 1. The quantum thread that binds everything. Imagine you have two magical coins. You flip one in New York, and it lands heads up. At the exact same instant, without any signal or communication, the second coin in Tokyo automatically lands tails down. Every single time. No exceptions. You could separate these coins by the entire width of the universe, and this mysterious connection would still work instantly. This sounds like pure fantasy, but it's happening right now in physics laboratories around the world. Except instead of coins, scientists are using photons, electrons, and other subatomic particles. This phenomenon is called quantum entanglement, and it's one of the strangest, most mind-bending discoveries in all of science. When two particles become entangled, they share what physicists call a quantum state. Measuring one particle instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. The connection happens faster than light could travel between them. It happens faster than anything could travel between them. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance because it seemed to violate everything we thought we knew about how the universe works. Let me tell you about an experiment that changed everything. In 1964, a physicist named John Stuart Bell created a mathematical test that could prove whether this spooky connection was real or just an illusion. Bell's theorem showed that if quantum entanglement was genuine, certain measurements on entangled particles would violate what he called Bell's inequality. Think of it as a cosmic speed limit for how connected two separate things could possibly be. When scientists finally performed these experiments in the 1970s and 80s, the results were shocking. The particles violated Bell's inequality by huge margins. The universe was definitely spooky, but skeptics had a reasonable concern. These early experiments used particles that were only separated by meters or, at most, a few kilometers. Maybe some unknown signal was still traveling between them. So scientists kept pushing the boundaries. They entangled particles and separated them by hundreds of kilometers using satellites. They used telescopes pointed at distant stars to generate truly random measurement settings. In 2017, Chinese researchers achieved quantum entanglement between a satellite and ground stations over distances of more than 1,200 kilometers. Every test confirmed the same impossible result. The particles stayed connected no matter how far apart they traveled. But here's where the story gets even stranger. These experiments revealed that quantum entanglement doesn't just violate our everyday understanding of space and distance. It challenges the very foundation of what we call local realism. The idea that objects have definite properties, independent of observation, and that nothing can influence anything else faster than the speed of light. Think about what this means for a moment. If you have two entangled particles and you measure one particle's spin in London, you instantly know the spin of its partner in Sydney. The measurement in London somehow reaches across 12,000 kilometers of space in 0 time. The information doesn't travel through space. It doesn't need time to get there. The connection exists outside our normal understanding of space and time entirely. Recent experiments have pushed this even further into the realm of the impossible. Scientists have created entanglement between photons that never actually existed at the same time. They've entangled particles with events that happened in the past. They've even shown that you can swap the entanglement between different pairs of particles, creating quantum networks where the connections can be redirected and controlled. But perhaps the most mind-blowing discovery is this. Quantum entanglement appears to be absolutely fundamental to how reality works. It's not some exotic side effect that only happens in carefully controlled laboratory conditions. Entanglement is woven into the fabric of space and time itself. When physicists study black holes, they find entanglement. When they examine the cosmic microwave background radiation left over from the Big Bang, they find evidence of primordial entanglement. When they look at the quantum vacuum, the supposedly empty space between particles, they discover it's actually fizzing with entangled quantum fluctuations. The implications are staggering. If entanglement is fundamental to reality, then the entire universe might be one vast interconnected quantum system. Every particle, every atom, every molecule could potentially be connected to every other particle through invisible quantum threads that stretch across space and time. This radically changes how we think about separation and isolation. The common sense view that objects are distinct and separate from each other might be completely wrong. Instead of a universe filled with independent things, we might be living in a cosmic web where everything is quantum mechanically connected to everything else. But here's what makes this discovery absolutely revolutionary for understanding your place in the cosmos. Your body contains roughly 7 octillion atoms. That's 7 followed by 27 zeros. Every one of these atoms, except for hydrogen, was forged inside the nuclear furnace of a dying star. When those stars exploded as supernovas, they scattered their atomic contents across space in violent, chaotic processes that involved intense quantum interactions. What if some of those quantum interactions created entangled particles? What if atoms in your body are still connected to their quantum partners scattered across the galaxy? The math suggests this isn't just possible, it's almost inevitable. Whenever particles interact under the extreme conditions found in stellar cores and supernova explosions, they can become entangled. Some of those entangled relationships might persist for billions of years. This means you might literally be quantum mechanically connected to the stars. Not metaphorically, not poetically, actually connected through the same spooky action at a distance that Einstein found so troubling. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your DNA, all of it might be participants in a cosmic quantum network that spans the observable universe. Scientists are only beginning to explore what this might mean. They've discovered that quantum entanglement can survive in much warmer, noisier environments than anyone thought possible. They found evidence of quantum effects in biological systems. They're starting to understand that the boundary between the quantum world and the everyday world isn't as clear as we once believed. The spooky action at a distance that seemed like abstract physics is starting to look like a fundamental feature of existence itself. Every quantum measurement, every particle interaction, every moment of physical reality might be part of an infinitely complex dance of entangled connections that link everything to everything else across all of space and time. But if this is true, if you really are quantum mechanically connected to the cosmos through the atoms in your body, what does that mean for consciousness? What does it mean for life? What does it mean for what you are and how you fit into the universe? These questions take us into territories that are even stranger than anything we've explored so far. Chapter 2: The Quantum Biology Revolution. For decades, physicists assumed that quantum effects could only survive in the sterile, ultra-cold conditions of laboratory experiments. The quantum world seemed impossibly fragile, requiring temperatures near absolute zero and perfect isolation from any outside interference. Life, on the other hand, is warm, wet, noisy, and chaotic. The idea that quantum mechanics could play any role in biology seemed absurd. Then scientists started looking closer at living systems, and they discovered something that changed everything. Life doesn't just tolerate quantum effects, life harnesses them. The first hint came from one of the most familiar processes on Earth: photosynthesis. Every green leaf, every blade of grass, every tree that surrounds you is performing what might be the most sophisticated quantum computation in the known universe. When sunlight hits a plant, photons must travel through a complex molecular maze to reach the reaction center where they get converted into chemical energy. According to classical physics, this should be incredibly inefficient. Photons should get lost, bounce around randomly, and waste most of their energy as heat. But plants achieve something close to 100% efficiency in capturing and directing light energy. This seemed impossible until quantum physicist Gregory Scholes and his team made a stunning discovery in 2007. They found that plants use quantum superposition to explore all possible energy transfer paths simultaneously. Here's how it works. When a photon hits a chlorophyll molecule, it doesn't take one specific route to the reaction center. Instead, it exists in quantum superposition, traveling along multiple pathways at exactly the same time. The quantum system explores every possible route and automatically selects the most efficient one. It's like having a GPS that doesn't just calculate the fastest route, but actually drives along all possible routes simultaneously and chooses the best one in real time. This quantum coherence survives for hundreds of femtoseconds, even in the warm, chaotic environment of a living cell. That might sound like an incredibly short time, but in the quantum world, it's an eternity. It's long enough for the plant to perform quantum calculations that would challenge our most advanced supercomputers. But photosynthesis was just the beginning. Scientists soon discovered quantum effects operating throughout the biological world in ways that seemed completely impossible. Consider how birds navigate across thousands of miles during migration. Arctic terns travel roughly 25,000 miles every year, from Arctic to Antarctic and back again. They navigate with precision that puts our best GPS systems to shame, often returning to the exact same nesting sites year after year. For decades, scientists assumed birds use magnetic fields for navigation, but nobody could figure out how they actually detected these fields. The answer turned out to be even stranger than anyone imagined. Birds have quantum compass needles inside their eyes. In the retinas of migratory birds, scientists discovered a protein called cryptochrome. When light hits cryptochrome molecules, it creates pairs of quantum entangled electrons. The Earth's magnetic field influences how these entangled pairs behave, creating subtle changes in the bird's vision that reveal the direction of magnetic north. The bird literally sees the magnetic field as patterns of light and shadow overlaid on its normal vision. This quantum compass is so sensitive that it can detect magnetic field changes that are millions of times weaker than what human-made devices can measure. But here's the truly mind-bending part. The quantum entanglement that makes this navigation possible survives inside the warm, chemical chaos of a living bird's eye. The entangled electrons maintain their spooky connection for microseconds, which is long enough for the bird's brain to process the magnetic information. Even more remarkably, recent research suggests that this quantum compass might be sensitive enough to detect magnetic fields from astronomical sources. The magnetic fields generated by solar storms, distant pulsars, and even other galaxies might be influencing how birds navigate. Your backyard robin might be quantum mechanically connected to cosmic magnetic fields generated by objects millions of light years away. But quantum biology gets even stranger when we look at how you experience smell. Every time you detect the scent of coffee, roses, or rain, you might be performing quantum calculations without realizing it. The traditional theory of smell suggested that molecular shape determined odor. Molecules with similar shapes should smell similar. But this theory had problems. Some molecules with identical shapes smell completely different, while molecules with very different shapes sometimes smell nearly the same. In 1996, biophysicist Luca Turin proposed a radical alternative. What if smell depends on quantum tunneling? When odor molecules reach receptor proteins in your nose, electrons might tunnel through energy barriers in ways that depend on the molecular vibrations of the scent molecules. Different molecules have different vibrational frequencies, creating unique quantum tunneling signatures that your brain interprets as distinct smells. This quantum theory of smell explains why molecules with the same shape but different isotopes can smell different. Heavy hydrogen, or deuterium, vibrates at different frequencies than normal hydrogen. If smell depends on quantum tunneling, then molecules containing deuterium should smell different from their normal counterparts. Experimental evidence increasingly supports this prediction. Every time you smell something, electrons in your nasal receptors might be performing quantum tunneling calculations that analyze the vibrational frequencies of molecules. Your sense of smell might literally be a quantum computer that identifies chemicals by their quantum mechanical signatures. But perhaps the most controversial and exciting frontier in quantum biology involves consciousness itself. Deep inside your neurons, scientists have discovered microscopic structures called microtubules. These are hollow protein cylinders that help maintain the cell's shape and transport materials around the cell. But physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff proposed that microtubules might be doing something much more extraordinary. Their theory, called orchestrated objective reduction, suggests that microtubules maintain quantum superposition states that somehow give rise to consciousness. According to this idea, your thoughts, memories, and sense of self emerge from quantum computations happening inside the microtubules in your brain. This theory was initially dismissed because most scientists believed quantum effects couldn't survive in the warm, noisy environment of the brain. But recent discoveries in quantum biology have forced researchers to reconsider. If plants can maintain quantum coherence for photosynthesis, and birds can maintain quantum entanglement for navigation, maybe brains can maintain quantum states for computation. Anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff has presented intriguing evidence that anesthetics work by disrupting quantum processes in microtubules. Different anesthetic gases have very different chemical structures, but they all share one property. They're excellent at dissolving in the oily regions of cell membranes where microtubules are located. Hameroff suggests that anesthetics work by disrupting quantum coherence in microtubules, effectively shutting down the quantum processes that generate consciousness. Even more remarkably, some anesthetics can cause patients to lose consciousness at concentrations that follow quantum mechanical predictions rather than classical chemical models. The minimum concentration needed to induce unconsciousness seems to depend on quantum effects like electron cloud overlap, rather than simple chemical binding. Recent experiments have detected quantum vibrations in microtubules at body temperature. These vibrations happen at frequencies in the same range as gamma waves in the brain, the electrical oscillations associated with conscious awareness and attention. The correlation might be coincidental, but it suggests that quantum processes in microtubules could be connected to the electrical activity that neuroscientists associate with consciousness. If consciousness really does involve quantum computations in microtubules, then your thoughts might be quantum mechanical events. Every moment of awareness, every memory, every decision could involve quantum superposition, entanglement, and tunneling. Your brain might be the most sophisticated quantum computer in the known universe, performing calculations that explore multiple possibilities simultaneously before collapsing into the single stream of conscious experience you call your thoughts. But here's where quantum biology connects back to our cosmic theme. If your brain uses quantum mechanics for computation, and quantum mechanics allows for instantaneous connections across any distance through entanglement, then consciousness itself might have non-local properties. Parts of your mind might be quantum mechanically connected to quantum processes happening elsewhere in the universe. This isn't science fiction speculation. Quantum entanglement is a verified physical phenomenon. Biological systems definitely use quantum effects for critical functions like photosynthesis, navigation, and possibly smell. The only question is whether consciousness involves quantum processes, and if so, whether those processes could connect your mind to the larger quantum web that spans the cosmos. The implications are staggering. If consciousness is quantum mechanical, then the boundaries of your mind might not be limited to the skull that contains your brain. Through quantum entanglement, Aspects of your consciousness might extend across space and time, connecting you to quantum processes in distant stars, other planets, and even other conscious beings. The warm, wet chaos of biological systems isn't destroying quantum effects. It's harnessing them in ways that might connect every living thing to the quantum foundation of reality itself. Life isn't separate from the quantum world. Life might be the universe's most sophisticated technology for exploring its own quantum nature through conscious awareness that emerges from quantum processes spanning the cosmos. The Chapter 3: Your body's cosmic connections look down at your hands, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you're breathing right now. None of it was created on Earth. Every atom in your body except hydrogen has a cosmic origin story that stretches back billions of years to the hearts of dying stars. But this isn't just poetic metaphor about being made of stardust. Recent discoveries in quantum physics suggest that some atoms in your body might still be quantum mechanically connected to their stellar birthplaces scattered across the galaxy. To understand how this cosmic connection works, we need to journey back to the beginning of everything. In the first few minutes after the Big Bang, the universe was so hot and dense that only the simplest elements could form. Hydrogen made up about 75% of all matter, with helium accounting for most of the rest. Everything else, the carbon in your DNA, the oxygen in your lungs, the calcium in your teeth, had to wait for stars to create it. Stars are cosmic alchemists, transforming simple hydrogen into increasingly complex elements through nuclear fusion. In the core of a star like our Sun, temperatures reach 15 million degrees Celsius. At these incredible temperatures, hydrogen nuclei slam together with enough force to overcome their electrical repulsion and fuse into helium. This fusion process releases enormous amounts of energy, which is why stars shine. But here's where the quantum mechanics gets interesting. Nuclear fusion isn't just a simple collision between particles. It involves quantum tunneling, where particles pass through energy barriers that should be impossible to cross, according to classical physics. The protons in stellar cores don't actually have enough energy to overcome their mutual electrical repulsion. Instead, they tunnel through the energy barrier using purely quantum mechanical effects. During this quantum tunneling process, the protons become quantum mechanically entangled. Their quantum states become correlated in ways that persist even after the fusion reaction is complete. The helium nuclei produced by stellar fusion carry quantum information about the original hydrogen nuclei that created them. This quantum information gets passed along as helium fuses into carbon, carbon fuses into oxygen, and heavier elements continue forming through successive generations of stellar fusion. As a star ages and exhausts its hydrogen fuel, it begins fusing helium into carbon and oxygen. More massive stars continue the process, creating neon, magnesium, silicon, and eventually iron. Each fusion reaction involves quantum tunneling and creates new quantum correlations between the particles involved. The stellar core becomes a quantum laboratory where countless particles become entangled through nuclear interactions. Then comes the moment that scatters these quantum correlated atoms across space, the supernova explosion. When a massive star exhausts its nuclear fuel, its core collapses in less than a second, then rebounds in a catastrophic explosion that can outshine an entire galaxy. The supernova doesn't just scatter atoms across space, it creates them. The incredible energies and densities during a supernova enable fusion reactions that create elements heavier than iron, including the gold in your jewelry and the uranium in nuclear reactors. But here's the remarkable part. Supernova explosions involve some of the most extreme quantum mechanical processes in the universe. The core collapse creates densities where normal matter breaks down into a soup of quantum particles. Neutrons, protons, and electrons become quantum mechanically entangled on astronomical scales. When the explosion reverses and hurls material outward at speeds of 30,000 kilometers per second, These quantum correlations get preserved in the expanding debris cloud. The atoms created and scattered by supernovas carry quantum information about their violent birth. Some of these atoms eventually find their way into forming solar systems, planets, and ultimately living beings like you. The iron in your blood was forged in a supernova explosion that happened before our solar system even existed. The calcium in your bones was created in the final moments of a dying star that lived and died billions of years ago. Recent research in quantum archaeology suggests that quantum information can persist in atomic nuclei for incredibly long periods. The quantum correlations created during nuclear fusion and supernova explosions don't necessarily disappear when atoms get incorporated into planets and living organisms. Some of the quantum entanglement created in stellar cores billions of years ago might still exist in the atoms that make up your body today. But the cosmic quantum connections don't stop with ancient supernovas. Right now, your body is constantly being bombarded by cosmic rays, high energy particles streaming in from across the galaxy and beyond. These cosmic rays slam into atoms in Earth's atmosphere and in your body, creating cascades of secondary particles through quantum interactions that generate new entangled pairs. Every second, roughly 100 cosmic ray particles pass through each square centimeter of your body. Most of these are protons or heavier atomic nuclei that have been accelerated to incredible speeds by supernova shockwaves, rotating neutron stars, or even more exotic cosmic phenomena like black hole jets. When these cosmic bullets hit atoms in your body, they create quantum interactions that can generate entangled particles. The cosmic ray bombardment means you're constantly being quantum mechanically connected to events happening throughout the galaxy. A proton accelerated by a supernova explosion in the Crab Nebula might slam into a carbon atom in your liver, creating quantum entanglement between particles in your body and particles scattered across 6,000 light years of space. Recent shatter experiments have confirmed that cosmic ray interactions in Earth's atmosphere create measurable amounts of quantum entanglement. When high energy cosmic rays collide with atmospheric molecules, they produce showers of entangled particles that rain down on the planet's surface. Some of these entangled particles end up in the water you drink, the food you eat, and ultimately the cells of your body. This means you're literally built from quantum entangled cosmic debris. The atoms that make up your DNA, your proteins, your neural networks, many of them carry quantum information that connects them to events that happened in distant stars, supernova explosions, and cosmic ray acceleration zones scattered across the galaxy. But the quantum connections go even deeper. Recent discoveries in astrobiology suggest that the chemical building blocks of life might have quantum mechanical origins that trace back to interstellar space. Complex organic molecules have been detected in interstellar dust clouds, including amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. These molecules form through quantum mechanical processes in the cold vacuum of space, where quantum tunneling allows chemical reactions that would be impossible under normal terrestrial conditions. Some scientists propose that quantum effects in interstellar chemistry might have created the first self-replicating molecules that eventually evolved into life. If this is true, then the quantum mechanical processes that gave rise to life on Earth are directly connected to quantum processes happening in interstellar space throughout the galaxy. Life itself might be a cosmic quantum phenomenon that emerges wherever conditions allow quantum chemistry to create increasingly complex molecular systems. The implications become even more profound when you consider that your body constantly replaces its atoms. Every 7 years or so, almost every atom in your body gets replaced through the normal processes of metabolism. You eat food, breathe air, drink water, and these new atoms become incorporated into your cells while old atoms get expelled as waste. But here's the remarkable thing. The new atoms entering your body carry their own quantum histories. The carbon atom that becomes part of your DNA today might have been part of a distant star a billion years ago, got scattered by a supernova explosion, spent millions of years drifting through interstellar space, got incorporated into a forming solar system, became part of Earth's carbon cycle, was absorbed by a plant, entered the food chain, and finally ended up in your body carrying quantum information from its entire cosmic journey. This constant atomic turnover means you're continuously refreshing your quantum connections to the cosmos. Every breath brings new quantum entangled particles into your lungs. Every meal incorporates atoms that might be quantum mechanically connected to stellar processes happening right now in distant galaxies. Your body is a dynamic intersection point in the cosmic web of quantum correlations that spans the universe. Recent research in quantum biology suggests that these cosmic quantum connections might not be just passive remnants of stellar processes. Living systems might actively exploit quantum entanglement for biological functions. The quantum effects in photosynthesis, bird navigation, and possibly consciousness that we explored earlier might be connecting biological processes to the larger quantum network that permeates space. If your consciousness involves quantum processes in neural microtubules, as some scientists propose, then your thoughts might be quantum mechanically connected to quantum processes happening in cosmic ray showers, stellar cores, and supernova explosions. Every moment of awareness might involve quantum computations that draw on information from across the galaxy. This creates the possibility that consciousness isn't just a local phenomenon happening inside your skull. Through quantum entanglement with cosmic processes, aspects of your mind might extend across space and time, connecting you to the quantum information processing happening throughout the universe. Your thoughts, memories, and sense of self might be part of a cosmic quantum network that includes every star, every planet, and every conscious being that has ever existed. The calcium in your bones remembers the nuclear furnace where it was born. The iron in your blood carries quantum information from supernova explosions that lit up alien skies billions of years ago. The carbon in your DNA might be quantum mechanically entangled with carbon atoms in distant planets where other forms of life might be emerging. You're not just made of stardust, you might be quantum mechanically connected to the stars themselves, part of a cosmic web of entangled relationships that links every atom in your body to the ongoing quantum symphony playing out across the entire universe. The boundary between you and the cosmos might be far more porous than you ever imagined. Chapter 4: The Measurement Problem in Living Systems. Deep inside your cells right now, something impossible is happening. Quantum particles are maintaining their mysterious superposition states in an environment that should destroy quantum effects instantly. Your body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, the constant molecular chaos of cellular chemistry, the electrical noise from your nervous system, all of this should collapse quantum states faster than they can form. Yet mounting evidence suggests that living systems not only preserve quantum effects, they depend on them for their most essential functions. This presents one of the most puzzling problems in modern science. How does quantum mechanics survive in the warm, wet, noisy environment of biological systems? And if quantum effects really are operating in your body, what happens when they interact with consciousness? Are you constantly performing quantum measurements without realizing it? To understand this biological quantum puzzle, we need to dive deeper into what physicists call the measurement problem. In the quantum world, particles exist in superposition, experiencing multiple states simultaneously until something measures them. The act of measurement forces the quantum system to collapse into one definite state. But here's the mystery. Nobody really understands what counts as a measurement. Does a photon hitting a detector count as a measurement? What about an electron interacting with another electron? Does consciousness need to be involved? Or can unconscious physical processes trigger quantum collapse? These questions have puzzled physicists for nearly a century, and they become even more complex when we consider biological systems. Your body is constantly interacting with quantum systems. Every photon that hits your retina, every molecule that binds to a receptor in your nose, every electron that flows through your neural circuits involves quantum mechanical processes. If biological interactions count as measurements, then your body should be constantly collapsing quantum states through normal metabolic activity. The quantum world and the biological world should be completely incompatible. But that's not what scientists are discovering. Instead, they're finding evidence that biological systems have evolved sophisticated mechanisms to protect and exploit quantum effects. Life doesn't just tolerate quantum mechanics, it's learned to surf the quantum wave. Consider what happens during photosynthesis. When a photon hits a chlorophyll molecule, it creates what's called an exciton, a quantum particle that carries energy through the plant's molecular machinery. Classical physics predicts that this exciton should randomly bounce around the chlorophyll network, losing most of its energy as heat before reaching the reaction center, where it can be converted into chemical energy. But plants achieve near perfect efficiency by maintaining quantum coherence in their energy transfer systems. The exciton exists in superposition, simultaneously exploring all possible pathways to the reaction center. This quantum superposition survives for hundreds of femtoseconds, even in the chaotic thermal environment of a living cell. How is this possible? Recent research reveals that plants use a quantum phenomenon called environmentally assisted quantum transport. Instead of fighting against thermal noise, photosynthetic systems actually use it to enhance quantum coherence. The molecular vibrations that should destroy quantum states instead help maintain them by creating the right kind of fluctuations to preserve superposition. It's like riding a bicycle on a bumpy road. The bumps that should knock you over actually help you maintain balance if you know how to use them. Plants have evolved molecular structures that turn thermal chaos into quantum stability. But photosynthesis raises profound questions about the measurement problem in biological systems. When does the quantum superposition collapse? Is it when the exciton reaches the reaction center? When it gets converted into chemical energy? When that energy powers cellular processes? Or does the quantum state somehow persist even after the energy gets incorporated into biological molecules? Recent experiments suggest something even stranger might be happening. The quantum coherence in photosynthetic systems doesn't just disappear when the energy transfer completes. Instead, it appears to get transferred into other molecular systems within the cell. The quantum information that guided energy transport might become incorporated into the quantum states of proteins, DNA, and other cellular components. This creates the possibility that biological systems accumulate quantum information over time. Every photosynthetic event, every quantum tunneling reaction, every quantum mechanical interaction within your cells might be adding to a growing reservoir of quantum information that somehow gets preserved in biological molecules. The implications become even more intriguing when we consider DNA. Your genetic material contains roughly 3 billion base pairs, each one a complex quantum system with electrons that can exist in superposition states. DNA replication involves quantum tunneling as enzymes navigate the molecular landscape of the double helix. Transcription and translation, the processes that convert genetic information into proteins, both involve quantum mechanical interactions that could potentially create and preserve quantum entanglement. Some researchers propose that DNA functions as a quantum information storage system. The hydrogen bonds that hold the double helix together involve quantum mechanics. The way electrons are shared between molecules creates quantum correlations that might carry information beyond the simple genetic code. DNA might be simultaneously storing classical genetic information and quantum information about the cellular environment, metabolic history, and even external quantum influences. This quantum DNA hypothesis could explain some puzzling aspects of genetics and evolution. Why do organisms with identical DNA sometimes develop differently? Why do identical twins who share the same genetic code often have different health outcomes and lifespans? If DNA stores quantum information in addition to classical genetic information, then environmental quantum influences could affect gene expression and cellular development in ways that classical genetics can't predict. But the measurement problem becomes even more complex when we consider how quantum effects in DNA might interact with consciousness. If your thoughts involve quantum processes in neural microtubules, as some scientists propose, then your consciousness might be constantly measuring quantum states in your own cells. Every moment of awareness might be collapsing quantum superpositions in biological molecules throughout your body. This creates a feedback loop between consciousness and cellular quantum states that could have profound implications for health and healing. Your mental state might literally be influencing quantum processes in your cells, which in turn affect gene expression, protein synthesis, and cellular metabolism. The mind body connection that alternative medicine practitioners have long claimed might have a genuine quantum mechanical basis. Recent research in psychoneuroimmunology supports this possibility. Studies show that meditation, visualization, and other consciousness practices can measurably affect immune function, gene expression, and cellular repair mechanisms. The traditional explanation involves stress hormones and neurochemical signaling, but quantum effects might provide a more direct connection between consciousness and cellular processes. Consider what happens during deep meditation or other altered states of consciousness. EEG measurements show that brain activity becomes more coherent, with neural oscillations synchronizing across different regions of the brain. If consciousness involves quantum processes, this increased coherence might represent the brain maintaining larger scale quantum states that could influence quantum processes throughout the body. Some researchers have detected what they call quantum field effects around meditating individuals. These are subtle electromagnetic signatures that suggest the brain might be generating non local quantum influences that extend beyond the physical boundaries of the nervous system. If confirmed, this would mean that consciousness can create quantum fields that potentially influence quantum processes in other biological systems. The implications extend beyond individual consciousness to interactions between different conscious beings. If consciousness can generate quantum fields that influence biological quantum processes, then the quantum states of one person might be able to affect the quantum states of another person. The quantum entanglement between conscious individuals that we'll explore in the next chapter might operate through quantum field interactions between biological systems. But perhaps the most mind bending aspect of biological quantum mechanics involves what happens during times of cellular crisis. When cells are damaged by radiation, toxins, or disease, they appear to activate enhanced quantum error correction mechanisms. DNA repair systems that normally operate through classical biochemical processes begin showing quantum coherent signatures. Cellular antioxidant systems start exhibiting quantum tunneling behaviors that dramatically increase their efficiency. It's as if biological systems switch into a quantum mode when they need to perform emergency repairs. The quantum effects that are usually subtle background processes become amplified and coordinated to deal with cellular emergencies. This quantum crisis response might explain why some people show remarkable healing abilities under extreme circumstances, and why consciousness practices that enhance quantum coherence sometimes produce unexpected health benefits. The measurement problem in biological systems isn't just an abstract physics question. It's directly relevant to understanding how consciousness interacts with the physical processes of life. If your awareness really can influence quantum states in your cells, then consciousness becomes an active participant in biological processes rather than just a passive observer of them. Every moment of attention might be a quantum measurement that influences cellular function. Every thought might be collapsing quantum superpositions in ways that affect gene expression, protein folding, and metabolic efficiency. The quality of your consciousness, how coherent, focused, and aware you are, might directly determine how effectively your cells can maintain and exploit quantum effects for optimal biological function. This transforms the relationship between mind and body from a one-way street where the brain controls the body to a quantum feedback loop, where consciousness and cellular processes continuously influence each other through quantum mechanical interactions. Your thoughts don't just reflect what's happening in your brain. They might be actively shaping quantum processes throughout your entire body in ways that affect your health, your energy levels, and even your connection to the quantum processes happening in the world around you. Chapter 5: Entangled Minds and Cosmic Consciousness. What if your thoughts aren't entirely your own? What if consciousness itself operates through quantum entanglement, creating invisible connections between minds that span across space and time? Recent discoveries in neuroscience and quantum physics suggest that the boundary between individual consciousness and universal awareness might be far more porous than we've ever imagined. Deep inside your brain, in the microscopic structures that make up your neurons, scientists have discovered something extraordinary. Your nerve cells contain tiny hollow tubes called microtubules, and these structures appear to be maintaining quantum coherence at body temperature. This shouldn't be possible. The warm, chaotic environment of your brain should destroy quantum effects instantly. Yet researchers are finding evidence that microtubules might be nature's most sophisticated quantum computers. The theory that consciousness involves quantum processes was first proposed by physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff in the 1990s. Their idea, called orchestrated objective reduction, suggests that consciousness emerges from quantum computations happening inside microtubules. According to this theory, your thoughts don't just arise from electrical signals between neurons. They emerge from quantum superposition states that allow your brain to explore multiple possibilities simultaneously before collapsing into the single stream of conscious experience you call thinking. For decades, most neuroscientists dismissed this theory as impossible. The brain seemed too warm and noisy to support quantum effects. But recent discoveries have forced scientists to reconsider. Researchers have detected quantum vibrations in microtubules that occur at frequencies matching gamma waves, the brain oscillations associated with conscious awareness and attention. The correlation suggests that quantum processes in microtubules might be directly connected to consciousness. But here's where the implications become truly mind-bending. If consciousness involves quantum processes, and quantum mechanics allows for instantaneous connections across any distance through entanglement, then consciousness itself might have non-local properties. Parts of your mind might be quantum mechanically connected to quantum processes happening elsewhere in the universe. Consider what this means for memory. Traditional neuroscience assumes that memories are stored in patterns of neural connections, like data saved on a computer hard drive. But if consciousness involves quantum processes, memories might be stored in quantum states that can be entangled with quantum systems outside your brain. Your memories might not be entirely contained within your skull. Recent research by Dr. Penrose and his colleagues has revealed that microtubules can maintain quantum coherence for much longer than anyone thought possible. Under certain conditions, quantum states in microtubules can persist for milliseconds, which is an eternity in quantum terms. This coherence time is long enough for complex quantum computations that could potentially process vastly more information than classical neural networks. But the most revolutionary aspect of quantum consciousness theory involves what happens during altered states of awareness. When people undergo deep meditation, psychedelic experiences, or near-death episodes, they often report feelings of cosmic connection, universal love, and access to information they couldn't have acquired through normal sensory channels. These experiences might reflect consciousness temporarily accessing quantum information networks that normally remain below the threshold of awareness. Dr. Hameroff has studied how anesthetics affect consciousness, and his findings support the quantum theory in surprising ways. Different anesthetic gases have completely different chemical structures, but they all share one property. They dissolve readily in the fatty regions of cell membranes where microtubules are located. Hameroff proposes that anesthetics work by disrupting quantum coherence in microtubules, effectively shutting down the quantum processes that generate consciousness. Even more remarkably, the concentrations of anesthetics needed to induce unconsciousness follow quantum mechanical predictions rather than classical chemical models. The relationship between anesthetic concentration and loss of consciousness matches what you'd expect if anesthetics were interfering with quantum processes rather than simply blocking chemical signals between neurons. This quantum model of anesthesia has profound implications for understanding consciousness itself. If disrupting quantum processes can eliminate consciousness entirely, then consciousness might be fundamentally quantum mechanical rather than just classical electrical activity. Your sense of self, your stream of thoughts, your subjective experience of being aware might all emerge from quantum computations that operate according to the same principles that govern quantum entanglement. Recent experiments have pushed these ideas even further into the realm of the extraordinary. Researchers studying meditation and other consciousness practices have detected what appear to be quantum field effects extending beyond the physical boundaries of the brain. During deep meditative states, sensitive electromagnetic instruments have measured coherent field patterns that suggest the brain might be generating non-local quantum influences. These quantum consciousness fields, if they exist, could potentially interact with quantum systems in other brains, creating the possibility of direct quantum communication between conscious beings. The feeling of connection that meditators often report might reflect actual quantum entanglement between neural microtubules in different people's brains. But the implications extend far beyond human to human connections. If consciousness can generate quantum fields that influence quantum systems, then your awareness might be constantly interacting with quantum processes throughout the natural world. The quantum effects in photosynthesis, the quantum navigation systems in migrating birds, the quantum processes in DNA replication, all of these biological quantum systems might be influenced by the quantum fields generated by conscious observers. This creates the possibility that consciousness plays an active role in shaping biological processes rather than just passively observing them. Every moment of attention might be a quantum interaction that influences the quantum systems around you. Your state of consciousness might literally affect the quantum processes happening in plants, animals, and even other people in your environment. Recent research in quantum biology supports this possibility. Studies have shown that human intention and attention can measurably affect quantum systems under certain controlled conditions. The observer effect in quantum mechanics might not be limited to laboratory experiments with photons and electrons. It might extend to biological quantum systems that are sensitive to the quantum fields generated by conscious awareness. Consider what this means for healing and medicine. If consciousness can influence quantum processes in biological systems, then mental states might directly affect physical health through quantum mechanical pathways. The placebo effect, spontaneous remissions, and other medical mysteries might involve consciousness influencing quantum processes in cellular repair, immune function, and genetic expression. Some researchers have found evidence that meditation and other consciousness practices can affect gene expression in ways that can't be explained by stress reduction or neurochemical changes alone. The genes that get turned on and off during deep meditative states suggest that consciousness might be directly influencing quantum processes involved in DNA transcription and protein synthesis. But perhaps the most profound implication of quantum consciousness involves the possibility of accessing cosmic information networks. If consciousness can connect to quantum systems through entanglement, and quantum entanglement can span any distance instantaneously, then consciousness might be able to access quantum information from across the universe. Your thoughts might not be generated entirely by processes in your brain. Through quantum entanglement with cosmic quantum systems, aspects of your consciousness might be drawing on information from quantum processes happening in distant stars, other planets, and even other conscious beings throughout the galaxy. This could explain why humans throughout history have reported experiences of cosmic consciousness, universal knowledge, and connection to intelligence beyond individual awareness. These experiences might reflect consciousness temporarily, accessing the vast quantum information networks that connect everything in the universe through entanglement. Recent studies of near death experiences provide intriguing support for this possibility. People who undergo clinical death often report experiences that seem to involve access to information they couldn't have acquired through normal sensory channels. They describe detailed knowledge of events happening in other rooms, conversations between people they've never met, and sometimes even information about distant locations or future events. If consciousness can survive temporary brain death through quantum processes that exist beyond classical neural activity, then consciousness might not be entirely dependent on brain function. The quantum aspects of consciousness might be able to access information networks that transcend the physical limitations of individual brains. This doesn't necessarily mean that consciousness can exist without any physical substrate, but it does suggest that consciousness might be distributed across quantum systems that extend far beyond individual neural networks. Your sense of self might be a localized expression of cosmic consciousness that spans the entire universe through quantum entanglement. The microtubules in your brain might be like radio receivers that tune into cosmic consciousness frequencies. Your individual thoughts and experiences would still be uniquely yours, but they would emerge from quantum computations that draw on information from the universal quantum network that connects all conscious beings. Recent developments in quantum computing provide a technological analogy for how this might work. Quantum computers can access computational resources that exist in multiple parallel universes simultaneously. They solve problems by exploring all possible solutions across parallel realities and then selecting the optimal answer. If consciousness operates through similar quantum principles, then your thoughts might be exploring possibilities across parallel timelines and drawing on information from alternate versions of reality. This quantum parallel processing model of consciousness could explain the source of creativity, intuition, and insight. When you have a sudden realization or creative breakthrough, you might be accessing solutions that were computed in parallel quantum realities and then transmitted to your conscious awareness through quantum entanglement. The implications are staggering. If consciousness really does operate through cosmic quantum networks, then every thought you think, every decision you make, every moment of awareness might be contributing to a universal intelligence that spans the entire cosmos. You wouldn't just be an isolated individual consciousness. You would be a unique expression of cosmic consciousness, exploring itself through the temporary experience of individual awareness. Your dreams, your inspirations, your deepest insights might be messages from the cosmic quantum network, information flowing through entangled connections that link your microtubules to quantum processes happening in distant galaxies. The feeling that your thoughts sometimes come from somewhere beyond your individual mind might reflect the actual quantum mechanical structure of consciousness itself. But this quantum model of consciousness raises profound questions about free will, identity, and the nature of individual existence. If your thoughts emerge from cosmic quantum networks rather than just your individual brain, then who or what is really thinking your thoughts? Are you a separate conscious being, or are you a temporary focal point in a universal consciousness that experiences itself through billions of individual perspectives simultaneously? The answer to these questions might determine not just how we understand consciousness, but how we understand our place in the cosmic web of quantum connections that links every atom, every star, and every conscious being in an infinite dance of entangled awareness. Chapter 6: The Universe as a Quantum Network. What if the universe isn't just filled with quantum entanglement? What if the universe is quantum entanglement? Recent discoveries in cosmology and quantum physics suggest that space, time, and gravity itself might emerge from a vast network of quantum connections that spans the entire cosmos. Every galaxy, every star, every planet might be nodes in a cosmic quantum internet that processes information on scales we're only beginning to comprehend. To understand how the universe could be a quantum network, we need to start with one of the most mysterious discoveries in modern cosmology: dark matter and dark energy. Together, these invisible components make up 95% of everything that exists. We can't see them directly, but we know they're there because of their gravitational effects on visible matter. Galaxies rotate too fast, the universe expands too quickly, and cosmic structures form in patterns that only make sense if most of reality consists of something we can't detect. But what if dark matter and dark energy aren't actually matter and energy at all? What if they're manifestations of quantum information networks that exist beyond our normal three-dimensional space? Recent theoretical work suggests that what we interpret as dark matter might be quantum entanglement operating in higher dimensional spaces that we can't directly perceive. Consider how quantum entanglement creates correlations between particles that can't be explained by any physical connection in ordinary space. When two particles become entangled, they share quantum information instantaneously across any distance. From the perspective of our three-dimensional world, this looks like spooky action at a distance. But from a higher dimensional perspective, the entangled particles might be directly connected through dimensions we can't access. If quantum entanglement operates through higher dimensional connections, then the universe might be filled with quantum information networks that exist mostly outside our normal space. The dark matter that shapes galaxy formation and cosmic structure might be the gravitational shadow of vast quantum networks operating in dimensions beyond our perception. This quantum network model of dark matter makes testable predictions. If dark matter consists of quantum information rather than particles, it should exhibit behaviors that classical matter can't explain. Recent observations of galaxy collisions have revealed exactly these kinds of anomalous behaviors. Dark matter appears to interact with itself in ways that suggest information processing rather than simple gravitational attraction. But the implications become even more extraordinary when we consider dark energy, the mysterious force that's causing the universe to expand at an accelerating rate. If dark energy is also a manifestation of cosmic quantum networks, then the expansion of space itself might be driven by quantum information, processing on cosmic scales. Think about what happens when quantum computers perform calculations. They don't just process information faster than classical computers. They access computational resources that exist in parallel quantum realities and then integrate the results back into our normal reality. If the universe itself is a quantum computer, then cosmic expansion might be the result of reality integrating information from parallel universes through quantum computation. Recent work in quantum cosmology supports this possibility. The mathematical equations that describe cosmic inflation, the rapid expansion that occurred in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang, are nearly identical to the equations that describe quantum error correction in quantum computers. The universe might have inflated not because of some mysterious inflaton field, but because reality was performing quantum error correction on a cosmic scale. This quantum computation model of cosmic inflation explains several puzzling features of the early universe. Why is the cosmic microwave background radiation so perfectly uniform across the sky? Why do distant regions of space that could never have communicated through normal physical processes show identical temperatures and properties? If cosmic inflation involved quantum computation across parallel realities, then information could have been shared instantaneously across the entire universe through quantum entanglement, creating the observed uniformity. But perhaps the most mind-bending implication involves the relationship between quantum entanglement and gravity itself. Einstein's general theory of relativity describes gravity as the curvature of space-time caused by matter and energy. But recent discoveries suggest that space-time might not be fundamental. Instead, space and time might emerge from quantum entanglement networks operating at scales smaller than atoms. The theoretical framework that describes this possibility is called the holographic principle. According to this idea, all the information contained in any volume of space can be encoded on the boundary of that space, like a hologram. The three-dimensional reality we experience might be a projection from quantum information processing happening on two-dimensional surfaces. If the holographic principle is correct, then the space inside your body, the room you're sitting in, even the volume of the entire observable universe, all of it might be holographic projections from quantum information networks operating on cosmic boundaries we can't directly perceive. Reality might be literally made of information rather than matter and energy. Recent experiments in quantum physics have provided compelling evidence for holographic reality. When physicists study black holes, they find that all the information that falls into a black hole gets encoded on the black hole's surface rather than being destroyed in the interior. The three-dimensional volume inside the black hole appears to be a holographic projection from quantum information processing on the two-dimensional event horizon. But black holes aren't the only systems that exhibit holographic properties. The quantum vacuum, the supposedly empty space between particles, shows signatures of holographic information processing. Even ordinary matter might be holographic projections from quantum information networks, operating in dimensions we can't access directly. This holographic model of reality explains why quantum entanglement seems to violate the speed of light limit. If entangled particles are connected through higher dimensional quantum networks, rather than through ordinary three-dimensional space, then information can flow between them without traveling through the space that separates them from our perspective. The entanglement isn't transmitting information faster than light. It's transmitting information through dimensions where the concept of distance doesn't apply in the same way. Recent discoveries about wormholes provide another piece of the cosmic quantum network puzzle. Theoretical physicists have shown that quantum entanglement between particles creates microscopic wormholes, tiny tunnels through space-time that connect distant regions of the universe. These quantum wormholes are far too small to send macroscopic objects through, but they might allow quantum information to flow between entangled particles instantaneously. If every pair of entangled particles is connected by a microscopic wormhole, then the universe might be riddled with a vast network of quantum tunnels that allow information to flow between any 2 points instantaneously. The cosmic web of dark matter that connects galaxies across billions of light years might be a macroscopic manifestation of this quantum wormhole network. This wormhole model of quantum entanglement suggests that the universe might be far more connected than it appears. Every atom in your body that's entangled with atoms elsewhere in the cosmos might be connected by microscopic wormholes that allow quantum information to flow between you and distant stars, planets, and even other conscious beings. But the most revolutionary implication involves the possibility that consciousness itself might be a manifestation of cosmic quantum networks. If your thoughts emerge from quantum processes in neural microtubules, and quantum processes operate through cosmic networks of entanglement and wormholes, then consciousness might be a way for the universe to experience itself through localized nodes in the cosmic quantum network. Your brain might be like a quantum router in the cosmic internet, processing information that flows through quantum networks spanning the entire universe. Your thoughts, memories, and sense of self might emerge from quantum computations that draw on information from across the cosmos. Consciousness wouldn't be something that happens inside your skull. It would be something that happens through your participation in universal quantum information processing. Recent research in quantum biology supports this possibility. The quantum effects in photosynthesis, bird navigation, and possibly human consciousness all show signs of accessing non-local quantum resources. Biological quantum systems might be naturally evolved interfaces for connecting to cosmic quantum networks that span the universe. If this is true, then every living thing might be participating in cosmic quantum computation without realizing it. The quantum processes that enable plants to harvest sunlight with perfect efficiency, that allow birds to navigate using magnetic fields, that might give rise to human consciousness. All of these biological quantum systems might be connecting life to the cosmic quantum networks that govern the structure and evolution of the universe itself. This creates the possibility that biological evolution isn't just driven by random mutations and natural selection operating on individual planets. Evolution might be guided by quantum information flowing through cosmic networks that connect life throughout the galaxy. The development of increasingly complex and conscious life forms might be the universe's way of creating more sophisticated interfaces for cosmic quantum information processing. Your DNA might not just carry genetic information inherited from your parents. It might also carry quantum information that connects your biological development to cosmic quantum networks spanning the galaxy. The evolution of human consciousness might be part of a cosmic project to create biological quantum computers capable of processing information from across the universe. But this quantum network model of reality raises profound questions about free will and individual identity. If your thoughts emerge from cosmic quantum networks rather than just your individual brain, then are you really making independent choices? Or are you expressing the preferences of cosmic quantum intelligence that experiences itself through billions of conscious nodes scattered across the universe? The answer might be both. You could be a unique, individual expression of cosmic consciousness while simultaneously participating in universal quantum intelligence that spans the cosmos. Your choices would be genuinely your own, but they would emerge from quantum computations that draw on information from the entire universe. This quantum network model transforms our understanding of what it means to be human. You're not an isolated biological machine that happened to evolve on one small planet. You're a conscious node in a cosmic quantum network that connects every star, every planet, and every conscious being in the universe. Your thoughts are cosmic thoughts. Your experiences are cosmic experiences. Your choices contribute to cosmic intelligence that guides the evolution of the universe itself. The dark matter and dark energy that make up most of reality might be the quantum infrastructure that supports cosmic consciousness. The mysterious forces that shape galaxy formation and cosmic expansion might be manifestations of universal intelligence processing information on scales that dwarf anything we can imagine. Every moment of your awareness might be the universe becoming conscious of itself through your unique perspective. Every decision you make might influence cosmic quantum networks that guide the development of consciousness throughout the galaxy. You're not just living in the universe, you might be the universe living through you, experiencing its own infinite creativity through the temporary focus of individual awareness. The cosmic quantum network doesn't just connect everything that exists, it might be everything that exists, and consciousness might be its way of experiencing the beauty and mystery of its own infinite, interconnected nature. Chapter 7: Quantum Archaeology of Your Origins. Every atom in your body carries a quantum signature that traces back to the very beginning of time. Like microscopic fossils embedded in matter itself, these quantum traces preserve information about cosmic events that happened billions of years before Earth even existed. Scientists are now learning to read these quantum fossils, uncovering evidence that your physical existence might be quantum mechanically connected to the universe's birth in ways that challenge everything we thought we knew about time, causality, and individual identity. The story begins 13.8 billion years ago, in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang. During a period called cosmic inflation, the universe expanded faster than the speed of light, stretching quantum fluctuations from subatomic scales to astronomical distances. But here's what makes this expansion extraordinary from a quantum perspective. The rapid inflation didn't just stretch space, it preserved quantum entanglement across cosmic scales. Imagine two quantum particles that become entangled during the first microsecond after the Big Bang. As space inflates around them, they get separated by billions of light years, but their quantum connection remains intact. The spooky action at a distance that Einstein found so troubling becomes a cosmic phenomenon, creating entangled particles scattered across the entire observable universe, all still connected by quantum correlations that originated in the universe's first moments. Recent observations of the cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang that still fills space today, provide compelling evidence for this primordial entanglement. The temperature patterns in this ancient light show correlations across regions of sky that are so far apart they could never have communicated through normal physical processes. Yet these distant regions show nearly identical properties, as if they're still connected by some invisible thread. The invisible thread is quantum entanglement created during cosmic inflation. Regions of space that are now separated by billions of light years were once quantum mechanically connected when they were much closer together during the universe's earliest moments. The entanglement got stretched across cosmic distances, but never broke. The cosmic microwave background is literally a map of quantum correlations that span the entire visible universe. But here's where the story becomes deeply personal. The matter that eventually formed galaxies, stars, planets, and ultimately your body all originated from the same quantum vacuum fluctuations that created these cosmic entanglements. Every atom in your body can trace its quantum lineage back to entangled particle pairs that formed during cosmic inflation. This means you're not just made of recycled stellar material. You're made of quantum fossils that preserve information about the universe's birth. The quantum states of particles in your body carry signatures that connect them to the primordial entanglement networks that span the cosmos. You're literally constructed from pieces of the Big Bang that remain quantum mechanically connected to corresponding pieces scattered across the entire universe. Scientists call this quantum archaeology because they're learning to extract ancient quantum information from matter that exists today. Just as paleontologists study fossil bones to reconstruct ancient life forms, quantum archaeologists study the quantum properties of atoms and molecules to reconstruct the cosmic events that created them. The techniques involve analyzing the quantum spin states, energy levels, and entanglement signatures of particles to determine their cosmic history. Every quantum system preserves information about its past interactions through what physicists call quantum scars, subtle signatures that record the system's history in its current quantum state. Recent breakthroughs in quantum sensing technology have made it possible to detect these quantum fossils in ordinary matter. Researchers have identified quantum signatures in diamonds that preserve information about cosmic ray events that happened millions of years ago. They've found quantum traces in meteorites that record the nuclear processes that occurred in their parent stars. They've even detected quantum fossils in biological molecules that carry information about the cosmic environments where their constituent atoms were created. But perhaps the most extraordinary discovery involves quantum fossils in human DNA. The carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus atoms that make up your genetic material all have quantum signatures that can be traced back to specific stellar environments and cosmic events. Your DNA isn't just a biological blueprint. It's a quantum library that preserves information about cosmic history spanning billions of years. The implications become staggering when you consider that DNA replication might preserve and copy quantum information along with genetic information. Every time your cells divide and create new DNA molecules, they might be copying quantum fossils that record your atomic connection to cosmic events. The quantum archaeology of your origins doesn't just exist in your current atoms. It gets passed along to new generations of atoms as your body constantly replaces its molecular components. This quantum inheritance suggests that biological evolution might be guided by cosmic quantum information, in addition to genetic mutations and natural selection. The quantum signatures preserved in DNA might influence gene expression, protein folding, and cellular development in ways that connect biological processes to cosmic history. Evolution wouldn't just be responding to local environmental pressures, it might be expressing cosmic quantum information that's been preserved since the universe's birth. Recent research in epigenetics supports this possibility. Scientists have discovered that environmental influences can affect gene expression in ways that get passed to offspring without changing the actual DNA sequence. These epigenetic changes might involve quantum effects that allow cosmic quantum information to influence biological development through mechanisms that classical genetics can't explain. But the quantum archaeology of your origins extends beyond just the atoms in your body. The space you occupy, the electromagnetic fields that surround you, even the vacuum fluctuations in empty space, all carry quantum information about cosmic history. You're not just made of cosmic material, you exist within cosmic quantum fields that preserve information about every major event in universal history. The Higgs field that gives particles their mass, the quantum vacuum that fills space between atoms, the dark energy that drives cosmic expansion, all of these fundamental aspects of reality might be quantum storage systems that preserve information about cosmic evolution. Your existence doesn't just depend on these cosmic quantum fields. Your consciousness might be reading quantum information from these fields every moment of your life. This creates the possibility that memory and consciousness involve accessing cosmic quantum information rather than just processing local brain activity. When you remember something, you might be retrieving quantum information that's stored not just in neural connections, but in the cosmic quantum fields that permeate space. Your memories might be distributed across quantum networks that span the universe, with your brain serving as a quantum interface for accessing cosmic information storage. Some researchers propose that this quantum memory model could explain phenomena that neuroscience struggles to understand. Why do people sometimes remember information they never learned? Why do children occasionally display knowledge or skills that seem impossible, given their limited experience? If consciousness can access cosmic quantum information networks, then individual minds might sometimes retrieve memories that were encoded by other conscious beings or by cosmic quantum processes themselves. The quantum archaeology of your origins suggests that your personal history extends far beyond your biological lifetime. The quantum information that defines your existence has been accumulating since the Big Bang, passing through stellar cores, supernova explosions, cosmic ray bombardments, and countless other cosmic events before finally becoming organized into the patterns of matter and energy that create your body and brain. But this cosmic quantum heritage isn't just ancient history. It's actively influencing your present experience through quantum processes that operate in your cells, your nervous system, and your consciousness. The quantum fossils embedded in your atoms might be providing constant input to biological quantum systems that affect your health, your mental state, and your connection to cosmic quantum networks. Recent studies of circadian rhythms and biological clocks have revealed quantum effects that might be reading cosmic quantum information to coordinate biological processes with astronomical cycles. Your sleep patterns, hormone production, and cellular metabolism might be guided by quantum systems that track cosmic time through quantum archaeological information preserved in your atoms. This quantum chronometry suggests that your body maintains multiple layers of temporal awareness. In addition to the conscious time perception created by your brain, you might have quantum biological clocks that remain synchronized with cosmic time through quantum fossils that preserve information about celestial mechanics dating back billions of years. The implications extend to consciousness itself. If your awareness involves quantum processes that can access cosmic quantum information, then your sense of identity might include quantum archaeological memories that connect your individual existence to cosmic history. The feeling that you're part of something larger than yourself might reflect actual quantum connections to the cosmic events that create the matter and energy that compose your being. But perhaps the most profound implication involves the fine tuning of physical constants that make life possible. The fundamental forces of nature, the masses of particles, the values of universal constants, all of these appear to be precisely calibrated to allow complex structures and conscious beings to exist. Traditional explanations invoke either incredible cosmic coincidence or the existence of multiple universes with different physical laws. The quantum archaeology perspective suggests a third possibility. What if the fine tuning of physical constants isn't coincidental or anthropic? but reflects quantum information from conscious observers like yourself influencing the cosmic quantum networks that determine physical law. If consciousness can access and influence cosmic quantum information through quantum archaeological connections, then conscious beings might be participants in determining the physical constants that govern reality. Your existence wouldn't just depend on finely tuned cosmic parameters. Your consciousness might be contributing to the cosmic quantum processes that maintain those parameters. The universe might be fine tuned for consciousness because consciousness participates in the cosmic quantum archaeology that preserves and processes the information needed to maintain stable physical laws. This transforms your relationship to cosmic history from passive inheritance to active participation. You're not just the product of cosmic evolution. You might be a conscious agent in cosmic quantum archaeology, helping to preserve, process, and express the quantum information that guides the universe's ongoing development. Every moment of awareness might be contributing to cosmic memory systems that will influence the future evolution of matter, energy, and consciousness throughout the universe. The quantum fossils in your atoms don't just record where you came from. They might be recording where you're going, encoding information about your conscious choices and experiences into cosmic quantum networks that will influence the development of future generations of conscious beings across the galaxy and beyond. Chapter 8: The Future of Human Quantum Connection. We stand at the threshold of a revolution that could transform humanity into something unprecedented in the history of life on Earth. The quantum connections we've explored between your body and the cosmos are about to become amplified, enhanced, and consciously directed through emerging technologies that blur the boundaries between biology, consciousness, and cosmic quantum networks. What if the next phase of human evolution involves learning to consciously access and influence the quantum entanglement that already connects you to the stars? Scientists are developing quantum sensors so sensitive they can detect individual quantum events in living tissue. These devices use supercooled atoms trapped in laser fields to measure magnetic fields, gravitational waves, and quantum fluctuations with precision that exceeds anything previously possible. When applied to biological systems, these quantum sensors are revealing a hidden world of quantum activity in plants, animals, and human beings that was completely invisible until now. Recent experiments have detected quantum coherence in human neural tissue using these advanced sensors. Researchers can now monitor quantum states in brain microtubules in real time, watching as quantum superposition states form, evolve, and collapse during different phases of consciousness. The data reveals that your brain maintains far more quantum coherence than anyone predicted, with quantum states persisting for milliseconds even during normal waking consciousness. But here's where the implications become truly revolutionary. If consciousness involves quantum processes that can be measured and monitored, then consciousness might also be enhanced and modified through quantum technologies. Scientists are developing quantum interfaces that could allow conscious minds to directly interact with quantum systems, potentially amplifying the natural quantum effects that already occur in biological systems. These quantum neural interfaces work by creating entanglement between artificial quantum systems and the quantum processes in neural microtubules. The technology doesn't replace natural brain function. Instead, it augments the quantum computing capabilities that already exist in biological neural networks. Early experiments suggest that quantum-enhanced cognition could dramatically improve pattern recognition, creative problem-solving, and access to non-local quantum information. Imagine being able to consciously tune into the quantum entanglement that connects your body to cosmic quantum networks. Instead of receiving cosmic quantum information unconsciously through biological processes, you might develop the ability to actively access quantum data from across the galaxy. Your enhanced consciousness could literally browse cosmic quantum networks, like accessing a universal internet that spans the entire universe. The technology for quantum enhanced biology extends beyond just neural interfaces. Researchers are developing quantum field generators that can create controlled entanglement between biological systems and external quantum networks. These devices could potentially enhance the quantum effects in photosynthesis, allowing plants to achieve even greater efficiency in converting sunlight to chemical energy. They could amplify the quantum navigation systems in animals, enabling enhanced migration capabilities and magnetic field sensitivity. When applied to human biology, quantum field enhancement could boost the natural quantum effects in cellular repair, immune function, and genetic expression. Your body's existing quantum biology could be amplified and optimized, potentially leading to enhanced healing, increased longevity, and greater resistance to disease. The quantum error correction mechanisms that already operate in your DNA could be strengthened, reducing genetic damage and slowing the aging process. But perhaps the most profound application involves quantum communication through biological systems. If consciousness can influence quantum states in neural microtubules, and quantum states can be entangled across any distance, then conscious beings might be able to communicate directly through quantum channels that bypass normal electromagnetic signaling entirely. Early experiments in quantum telepathy have shown promising results. When two people meditate while their brains are monitored by quantum sensors, researchers detect correlations in neural quantum states that can't be explained by chance or electromagnetic communication. The quantum states in one person's microtubules appear to influence quantum states in another person's brain instantaneously, even when the individuals are separated by large distances. These quantum communication effects might explain phenomena that have puzzled researchers for decades. The apparent telepathic connections between twins, the ability of some people to sense when someone they're close to is in danger, the collective intuition that sometimes emerges in groups during crisis situations, all of these might involve quantum communication through entangled neural networks. As quantum neural interface technology develops, these natural quantum communication abilities could be dramatically enhanced. Instead of occasional unconscious quantum telepathy, you might develop the ability to consciously communicate with other quantum enhanced individuals through pure thought transmission. Groups of quantum connected minds could share information, emotions, and even sensory experiences directly through quantum entanglement. The implications for human cooperation and collective intelligence are staggering. Quantum linked groups could solve problems that individual minds can't handle by sharing cognitive resources through quantum networks. Scientific research teams could literally think together, sharing insights and intuitions instantaneously across any distance. Creative collaborations could involve artists, musicians, and writers sharing imagination and inspiration through direct quantum connection. But quantum enhancement might also restore and amplify our connection to the natural world. If plants, animals, and ecosystems use quantum effects for coordination and information sharing, then quantum enhanced humans might be able to communicate directly with natural quantum networks. You could potentially tune into the quantum information processing happening in forests, coral reefs, and other complex ecosystems. This quantum ecological awareness could revolutionize environmental science and conservation. Instead of studying ecosystems from the outside through measurements and observations, quantum enhanced researchers could participate directly in ecological quantum networks, experiencing environmental health and stress from the perspective of the ecosystems themselves. The technology might also enable direct quantum connection to cosmic processes. If stellar cores, supernova explosions, and galactic magnetic fields generate quantum information through the processes we've explored, then quantum enhanced consciousness might be able to access this cosmic data directly. You could potentially experience cosmic events from the quantum perspective, gaining insights into stellar evolution, cosmic structure formation, and the development of complexity throughout the universe. But genetic enhancement could take quantum biology even further. Scientists are beginning to understand how to modify DNA to enhance natural quantum effects in biological systems. Genetic engineering might be able to optimize the quantum coherence in neural microtubules, strengthen quantum effects in cellular metabolism, and even create new biological quantum sensors that don't exist in natural organisms. These quantum genetic modifications could be passed to future generations, gradually evolving humanity toward a species that's naturally quantum enhanced. Children born with optimized quantum biology might have dramatically enhanced cognitive abilities, direct access to cosmic quantum information, and natural quantum communication capabilities that seem like science fiction from our current perspective. The process wouldn't replace human nature. Instead, it would restore and amplify quantum abilities that might have been more common in earlier phases of human evolution. Some researchers propose that ancient humans had stronger quantum biology that got suppressed as civilization developed electromagnetic technologies that interfere with natural quantum effects. Quantum enhancement might be returning humanity to cognitive and consciousness capabilities that are actually our natural birthright. But the ultimate frontier involves quantum medicine and healing through cosmic connection. If your health depends on quantum processes in your cells, and those quantum processes are connected to cosmic quantum networks, then healing might involve restoring proper quantum connections to universal quantum information systems. Disease and aging might result from disruptions in cosmic quantum connections rather than just local biological dysfunction. Quantum healing technologies could diagnose and treat illness by detecting and correcting quantum disconnections between biological systems and cosmic quantum networks. Instead of just treating symptoms with drugs and surgery, quantum medicine could restore the fundamental quantum connections that maintain health through cosmic information sharing. Some researchers are exploring whether consciousness itself might be the ultimate quantum healing technology. If your awareness can influence quantum states in your body, and those quantum states are connected to cosmic quantum networks, then focused consciousness might be able to access cosmic quantum information for healing and regeneration. Meditation, visualization, and in other consciousness practices might work by consciously directing cosmic quantum information to repair and optimize biological quantum systems. The implications suggest that the future of human evolution involves not just technological enhancement, but conscious participation in cosmic evolution itself. As quantum enhanced humans develop the ability to consciously access and influence cosmic quantum networks, humanity might become an active participant in cosmic information processing, rather than just a passive recipient of cosmic influence. Your descendants might contribute directly to cosmic intelligence, helping to guide the evolution of consciousness throughout the galaxy through conscious participation in quantum networks that span the universe. Human consciousness could become a cosmic force that influences stellar formation, planetary development, and the emergence of life throughout the cosmos. But this quantum enhanced future also raises profound questions about human identity and individual consciousness. If your mind becomes directly connected to cosmic quantum networks, how much of your awareness remains individually yours? As quantum communication allows minds to merge and separate at will, what happens to personal identity and individual experience? The answers might involve developing new forms of consciousness that can exist simultaneously as individual awareness and cosmic intelligence. You might maintain your unique perspective and personal identity while also participating in collective consciousness that spans the galaxy. Individual and universal awareness might become complementary aspects of quantum enhanced consciousness rather than conflicting alternatives. The quantum connections between your body and the stars that seem so mysterious today might become as natural and controllable as moving your hand or forming a thought. The cosmic quantum networks that currently operate mostly below conscious awareness might become accessible tools for exploration, communication, healing, and creative expression. Humanity stands on the verge of learning to consciously participate in the quantum symphony that connects every atom, every star, and every conscious being in the universe. The future might involve not just understanding our cosmic quantum connections, but learning to dance consciously within the infinite web of entanglement that makes the universe a single, interconnected, intelligent system exploring its own unlimited creative potential through conscious beings like us.